Drunk drivers often have strange excuses, but these four are so bad, they even made the judge laugh in disbelief.
Should we approach?
Sure.
This is, I had my client, we were notified about the BRAC. I had to go to Quest Diagnostics and take an alcohol test. It shows negative. Now, it is a couple days later,
I mean, really?
but if somebody's drinking, Judge.
Really?
Drinking enough that they're gonna violate on a machine, why would they stop? If you've got such an alcohol problem that you can't stay straight on the machine, why would you stop?
That's, no, I don't believe that for a second. That doesn't fly. The only thing I know is that
Judge,
he didn't do a retest like he's supposed to right afterwards.
can I talk? So what he's telling me is that he was getting in the car to start a shift, that he has to start real early, right? He used mouthwash, right? That's what you're telling me. Hold on.
Really?
Hold on.
And now it's mouthwash?
Well,
What's next? Abducted by aliens?
Your Honor, I don't think I'm being inconsistent. He tested negative for alcohol. You tell me.
3 days later.
I judge, admittedly, I told you that. Admittedly, it was 3 days later. But what I intended to report is, if somebody's got, a bad enough alcohol problem that they can't stay straight on a machine, why would they stop drinking? People that are chemically dependent, they may not be able to stop, right? What I've told my client, Judge, is that you can't use any alcohol products at all, right? And you understand that, correct? And so you've got some mouthwash now that is the hydrogen peroxide kind, correct?
It's a great house. I'm now again taking away your privilege to drive. And I'm now going to put a scram on your ankle so I know that you're not consuming alcohol at any time. And if I find that you do, I'm well within my right to put you in.
Mouthwash is a common excuse. The next guy claims he has no idea how 4 bottles of alcohol got into his car.
Judge, that's state farm condition?
Yeah. You are Victor Ortiz.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Ortiz, you're charged with driving while intoxicated, second offense. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed.
On March 20th, 2025, an officer observed a vehicle traveling with its rear license plate lamp out, making the license plate unreadable. A traffic stop was initiated. The officer made contact with the defendant, the driver, and the officer observed the strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, watery bloodshot eyes, slurred speech, stumbling, and the defendant used the car for support. During an inventory search of the motor vehicle, the officer located 4 open containers, 2 empty and brown bags pulled to the touch, 1 half empty and 1 freshly open. All 4 were pulled to the touch and they were Four Lokos. The defendant denied drinking the alcoholic beverages and admitted to being an alcoholic, having a drinking problem, but he stated that he did not have any idea how many alcoholic beverages got into the motor vehicle. SFSTs were refused. The defendant was read the DIC and declined to provide a specimen. The defendant was arrested and a blood warrant was signed and executed.
Mr. Ortiz, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. I am now taking away your privilege to drive. You are not allowed to drive. I don't care what's going on in your life, and you are signing an affidavit with me today, promising me you're not going to drive. If I find that you do, I can have a contempt hearing, and every time you drive, it's an offense punishable by up to 6 months in jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
You will now get a portable device that you're going to take with you everywhere you go to prove to me that you're not consuming alcohol. If you fail to blow into the device, if you consume alcohol, if you consume illegal drugs, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a problem with drugs or alcohol, you better address it. Now is the time for you to address it, because if you don't, and it becomes a problem, I will address it for you, and I promise you're not going to like the way that I do it. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
I am now also placing a restriction on your license that you're not allowed to drive any vehicle that doesn't have an ignition interlock on it. We send this notice to DPS so that everybody in the entire world, or I'm sorry, all officers in Texas know that if you're driving, you must have an interlock, and if you don't, they will put you in jail.
Yes, Your Honor.
No alcohol, drugs, random testing, on the portable device. You have the ability to hire a lawyer, Mr. Ortiz.
No, Your Honor.
I can have you fill out an application. I'll take a look to see whether you qualify. I need to know everything about you, how much money you have at the bank, what you do for a living, what kind of car you drive, and then I'll take a look to see whether you qualify. Deputy Miranda is going to give you an application. I'll have you sign a reset with Victoria. You'll get with pretrial for your bond conditions, and after that, we'll take a look to see whether you qualify.
Your Honor.
Mr. Smith, you're charged with 2 cases. You're charged with possession of marijuana. You're also charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. On the gun case, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. On the weed case, you're facing up to 6 months in jail and a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say.
Now for a woman who was caught at night but claims she only had 1 drink. At 9 a.m. that morning.
Please. All right. Good morning, Mr. A. Gosby. Ma'am, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
On March 20th, 2025, at approximately 9:24 p.m., officers observed a black Chrysler traveling southbound on Kinswood Drive, noting that the rear license plate was not illuminated, making it difficult to see, and a traffic stop was initiated. Upon activation of the emergency equipment, the motor vehicle accelerated rapidly. Based on a loud sound from the motor vehicle's exhaust and speed which it was traveling, the officer believed that the driver was attempting to elude. The motor vehicle made a sudden right turn into a private drive and continued before coming to a stop. The officer made contact with the defendant, who was the driver, and also made contact with the front passenger, who was identified. The officer observed a strong odor of marijuana. The defendant was detained due to furtive movements inside the vehicle. The officer observed multiple open container beverage vehicles, including a Four Loko and Buzzball cans in plain view in the rear passenger area. The officer observed a black bag in the front passenger seat with a 9mm handgun and a green leafy substance inside. The substance was identified as marijuana due to the officer's training and experience. The defendant admitted to possessing both the handgun and the marijuana. The officer observed slurred speech and a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage on her breath. The defendant stated that she consumed 1 alcoholic beverage at approximately 9 a.m. The defendant performed SFSTs. The HGN was a 6 out of 6. The walk and turn was a 7 out of 8. And the one leg stand was a 1 out of 4. The DIC was read and the defendant consented to breath, which the results were a .121 and a .116.
Any prior to DWI, and then does she have a license?
Prior DWIs, her license is eligible.
You said,
It is eligible.
right, but no prior to
No
DWI?
prior.
Okay. Mr. A. Cosby, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using, it's not going to go well. I'm telling you now, I will test you 45 to 50 days from today. If you're still using, it's not going to go well for you. Do you understand? You are not allowed to drive unless you have a valid Texas driver license and car insurance in your name. That is also a condition of your bond as well. Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, ma'am?
Sure.
You want to apply?
And finally, a driver who tells the police the truth but then plays dumb in front of the judge.
Judge, no, this is Osman Rodriguez. Yes. Mr. Rodriguez, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to a year in jail and or $4,000. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you.
On March 21st, 2025, an officer responded to a 2-vehicle accident that occurred near the 5,000 block of Bingle Road. The complainant stated that she had made a right-hand turn northbound on Bingle Road and was already traveling northbound when she was struck on her driver's side by a white van. The complainant identified the defendant as the sole occupant and driver of the striking vehicle. The officer made contact with the defendant and observed red, glossy eyes, the strong odor of alcohol upon his breath, and smoke. The defendant stated he consumed 2 beers, one at work and one in his vehicle as he was driving home. SFSTs were conducted. 6 out of 6 clues were observed on the HGN. 2 out of 4 clues on the one leg stand. 3 out of 8 clues on the walk and turn. The defendant consented to provide a breath specimen. The results were 0.160 and 0.177.
Did they find alcohol in the car? Substantiate that allegation.
Doesn't state in the VIN, Judge.
Does he have a license and any prior DWIs?
He does not have a driver's license and no prior DWIs.
Mr. Rodriguez, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. If you do not have a Texas driver license and liability insurance, you are not allowed to drive. That is a condition of your bond. I will have you sign with me today a promise to me that you're going to make. This is an affidavit that I take absolutely serious. I don't care what's going on in your life. I don't care if you have a bunny that needs operating. If I find that
These people thought they could fool the judge, but it backfired. What's the worst excuse you've ever heard? Let us know in the comments.